Welcome, everybody, to the May 14th, 2019 Energy Awareness Commission meeting. First thing on the agenda is introductions and roll call. I think we'll go around and just do short introductions since we have a couple new people. So, Kim, do you mind starting?
Sure. My name is Kim Rockfam. Do you want to know what you want to know?
I think names are fine, and else just something particular you want to share.
No, that's it.
Lisa Fisher, City Council.
Mary Ellen Shaughness.
Jim Flatto.
Derek Nelson, Energy Services Representative, New Public Utilities.
Jordy Veit.
Rick Oppitz.
Rick Hoke.
Right. Derek, did you have anything else as far as roll call that you...
Nope, well, everybody introduced themselves. I took care of that, so we should be good. Thanks.
All right. And I don't think we need a motion for that. So then we will move on to item 2.1, the approval of the March 2019 minutes. Those are attached to the document.
I'll offer a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve in a second to approve the minutes from the Tuesday, March 12th, 2019 meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Is it a resolution? Do you have to go around? No.
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 Okay.
No. Motion carries. All right, item 3.1, reports, CIP statement of expenses. Derek, when you are ready.
So since the first of the year, we've spent just over $59,000 of our beginning balance of $254,000. And just in March alone, we spent just over $30,000 in rebates to customers. So our remaining balance is $195,396 and some odd cents. But I'm holding on to about $8,000 of that for our home energy audits, making sure that we have money and funds for that, especially since the contract, if you remember, the contract was shown to you one of these last two meetings, so we need to keep that in mind. So with that, there's roughly just $180,000 left in the budget. Anyone have any particular questions on any of the individual accounts? Just kind of an overall summary.
I think it's pretty similar to where we've been sitting previous years. Air conditioning, cleaning, air conditioning rebates will probably start coming in.
Yep, and they
now,
have.
so,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
High efficiency lighting is always popular, of course, so that there's a lot of that rebated already, and some tree applications for the relief shade tree program have started to roll in, so they'll be added on to that in 2 months.
Derek, do you know, are we doing anything with the steam rebate? I know we had talked probably towards the end of last year about some stuff, and then I think that was going to be too expensive.
Nobody's taking advantage of the steam rebate.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember from some past meetings, we discussed trying to get some thermostatic valves installed, and I had some vendors go to two particular places. I'm not even sure if the vendors followed up on that. I followed up with them. They didn't follow up with the customers nor myself, so I'm not sure at this point what more I can do than try to give people business.
Okay, thank you. I was just wondering where that went, so thank you. Any other questions or comments? Otherwise, I'd be looking for a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion to approve the statement of expenses for May.
All right.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the statement of expenses. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Right. Item 3.2, the Power Grid Kit Workshop. We've heard a little bit about this in the past, and it looks like Derek now has a date scheduled for that.
So there will be a June 18th, starting at, I think it was 9 o'clock till about 3. The vendor, Recharge Labs, is going to send a representative, one of the individuals that designed and teaches seminars to teachers in the community on how to unload and reload, as in unpack and pack the device that's in front of you, along with different scenarios and ideas for teachers to implement the power grid into their classrooms. And then once they complete that, they'll have an idea of how it functions, and they can borrow it whenever they feel. So that's going to be June 18th, and that will be at the Public Utilities Commission, so our main office. We only have one teacher at the moment that's signed up. There's about, the max we want is 20. We have up to 30 that we're maybe thinking that we put as a limit to attend the seminar. But I'm guessing that once school starts to wind down, more teachers will have an idea of summer plans and start signing up for the seminar. And if they don't, I talked to the Recharge Labs. We can reschedule at a different time and get more of a feed. The day I picked the 18th because the 5 or 6 teachers I spoke with thought that was an okay date. So, and I've sent letters to individual teachers. I've sent letters to school principals and superintendent. So I made it aware that it can be used from kindergarten to 12th grade. So any teacher at any of
Sure.
the schools that's a customer of the New Ulm Public Utilities can utilize this. So. And there's a link, if you didn't notice on the agenda, I don't know if it actually works on these, but there's a link to the event, right? Yep, page.
Right. Any other questions for Derek? Otherwise, I'd be looking for motion to receive and order file the information.
I'll make the motion to receive and ordered filed the information on the Power Grid workshop.
And a second?
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to receive and order file the information on the Power Grid workshop. Any other questions? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, item 3.3, the Power Grid Kit. Derek, I think you have a presentation on?
No, I'm gonna try.
Okay.
Obviously, this is the device that you allowed me to purchase. This is the Power Grid Kit, which is made and manufactured by Recharge Labs. And I kind of set it up to hopefully work. I haven't had very long to play around with it. But a lot of the square boxes that are green are power sources, such as we have a natural gas plant. There's just like that. We wanted to use this is hydro, so that's water. Coal plant. Solar, it comes with actual solar panels. So what a person could do is hook this up to, say, the power hub, which would be like the grid. All the power would go there and get distributed to, say, transmission lines, distribution lines, sorry. There's also, which one is this? Commercial, which is a load. So all the purple boxes are loads, such as industrial customers, commercial customers, and here would be residential customers. This looks like it's, apartments or houses close by. And then a nuclear power plant also. So they can all be kind of interconnected one way or another and hooked up to the power hub. So I tried to hook up, and there's also, you could do a manual generation with a hand crank, which gives a little bit of power, so that needs to be mostly directly powered. So if this works. Okay, so you have wind turbine now, and you can adjust power outage different axes. So, did you notice that it slowed down?
So that was the draw?
So this was the draw from here, so it's slowed down. So at times, I just put this on here as, say, a generator in a building. This was working before. It won't now. Bad connection. So the wind turbine is going to the grid. So the grid is then distributing the power to transmission lines or distribution system, which is helping power this load, which is a residential customer. So that's just a simple example of what can be done. And of course, the reason why we're having recharge labs come is because they know they're they designed it and they can show the more of what can be done, because you can connect different power sources and put it on the grid, because I could put more load on here, which would eventually slow this down. So you may need to add more of a load, or there's no wind, so then that's when the solar can come in and pick up the load, that type of thing. So it'll be interesting to see what they have as classroom material for presentations to the customers. But feel free to ask any questions if I can answer them, or monkey around or play with it or look at it after the meeting. You can feel free to.
Can you buy more boxes for solar, trash to steam, anything like that to add on to it?
Yep, you can buy.
So you can buy
So
more.
this was the biggest, this is the kit.
The basic kit.
And you can buy individual pieces and add on. And the big thing with the Recharge Labs is they have, it's kind of intertwined with education, and then they have kind of a side project with schools and students doing projects of building different wind turbines and different projects. So maybe that's something to look at in the future to see if.
So what's powering the fan?
Well, right now it's.
Is it a battery? Okay.
So.
I just didn't see a cord. Okay.
Windy
So,
I was gonna say, I know there's not that much wind in here.
Yeah. So this one has batteries, and then there's just different batteries for the meters. So that's
Sure.
another thing. There's different meters on here that's showing
The draw?
the draws and voltage and everything else on some of these. So at least with the power that's producing the power.
Well, and I bet the hand thing, what
And
they'll
it does
be,
work, yeah.
they will
it
be
works.
very interested in.
If you, this is the right one.
So that could get pretty elaborate there if you wanted it to.
Can, yeah.
Mhm.
So it's just acting like a generator. So if you want to do that.
Need a little bicycle rider there.
Yeah. Connect up a bicycle.
Yeah, sure.
I take
So
it
that's
it does
kinda
not
just-
come with
just-
uranium.
There you go.
What this is.
Cool.
Cool.
With the solar, it's a real solar panel, so obviously we need light. You could probably get a lamp with, put it on there too.
Well, so you do have a solar there.
This is a real solar panel.
Okay, cool.
It's just extremely small.
You just need a battery for like going to storage.
Yeah, I mean the light, a table lamp
Yeah,
with the light bulb on would power this, and then since this is solar, I mean you could have a battery, but this would pretty much just power the meter that's on it for the battery there.
could we get like another board so a guy can set that up for taking it out to this home show and a few of these other spots? So it's a board so we know where to, with stuff painted on it so we know where to put stuff,
You put it however you want.
to make it
Design
easier.
Whatever type of city.
Well,
you
yeah,
want,
to make
really.
it easier for people when they
Yeah,
set it
there
up
would
out
be-
there.
There would be instructions, and any of the members of the EDC want to come to the seminar,
Yeah.
it's encouraged if you want to.
So will they have scenario setups, do you think, in their education materials?
I
You know,
believe
so
so.
that they can look at a map and say, oh, if you set this here, you know,
Yep, I believe that's the way I understand
that's
it.
what their training is gonna be
Yep.
all on.
Yep.
Makes sense. It's a neat setup,
Cool, yeah.
I hope it gets utilized.
yeah,
I know we will, as a utility will, but
sure,
And that'll
the
be,
other half is the schools hopefully can implement it in the class and
yeah.
kind of roll with it and maybe start something.
now that's available to MVL out there too.
It's not available in MBL. They're not a customer in New York Public Utilities. It is the St.
Oh,
Paul's.
Cross River, yeah, okay.
Yep, St. Paul's Public Schools and the Cathedral Schools. Yep.
Cool.
All right.
Thank you, Derek. Any other questions? Otherwise, I guess we'd be looking for a motion to receive and order filed the presentation on the power grid kit.
I'll make the motion to receive it, to put it on file.
I'll second that.
Okay, we got a motion and second to receive and order file a short presentation on the power grid kit. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Item 3.4, some information from Derek. I'll let you go ahead and take that.
Okay, this is on what's called MMEP. It's a Municipal Minnesota Interconnection Process. So the Minnesota Public Utilities, they're in charge of establishing generic interconnection processes and parallel operations for DER, which is distributed energy resources of no more than 10 megawatts. So what happened last year was the docket for this interconnection process was reopened, and the Minnesota Public Utilities Commission changed the interconnection process and some filings inside of it. So what we have to do as municipalities either adopt what they came up with or to come up with our own. So what we did was we went with all the other municipal utilities and cooperatives in the state and came up with our own interconnection process. So compared to what we had before, which as far as I know, we only had one contract for an interconnection process of 40 kilowatts or less. Now what this has is it covers pretty much everything. So our old contract was probably, 15 pages. Now we have something that's a booklet. And it looks intimidating, but it has different pieces in it, such as the interconnection process that would go to just any customer that would want to interconnect with us. And then the different applications are dependent on the size of their unit. So that's why it's kind of large. But as far as I know, all the municipalities and different cooperatives are going to adopt the same, we have as a New Ulm Public Utilities, but they haven't already. They need to by June 17th, and they're all going to have the same process. So it's just kind of to inform you that some changes occurred, and if you have any questions regarding this. And it has to be, and it will be soon put on the city webpage to view. And I didn't put it all in the agenda because it's hundreds of pages, and I didn't feel like you needed to be intimidated by something you weren't going to be voting on anyways, and then so.
I'll offer a motion to receive and file.
Okay, we have a motion, a second.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay, motion and second to receive and order filed the information on MINIP. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, that leads us into new business, item 4.1, some changes to our CIP forms in criteria. Derek?
These are not, they're not changes as of yet. They're whether or not you feel they're, should be included in the forms, some, altering the wording in some of the forms. And the reason why there's, around 6 of them is that the city and the public utilities are going to be changing their website design. So that will be the chance to change some more wording on our forms and make them hopefully have the capabilities that our customers can fill them out online, and some other hopefully nice features, being able to track the forms. I'm not 100% sure yet what all the capabilities will be, at least with our forms, but hopefully that will be a few of the additions. So there's a list here. I'm not sure if you've all had a chance to look them over, but I get a lot of applications that are not even half filled out. So I want to have a criteria that they need to be filled out completely. And with the forms being online, I can allow them to not fill out certain portions of the applications, like account number and some other things that I can easily look up fairly quickly. And most people don't know. I don't know my account number from my, so I don't expect anybody else to. Purchase documents must clearly identify the approved equipment included in the lighting data worksheet. So there's also a lighting data worksheet that I'd like to include, which would state what the old equipment is, and I can pass this. This was meant to be included into the agenda, but I couldn't get it to attach. But that's an idea of what something might look like. That would be kind of for vendors or for people that aren't certain what the old equipment is. It shows what the nameplate wattage is of the old devices. So I'd like to include something similar to that. That's another utilities sheet, so I can't actually take that information. And a lot of them are pretty much stating, which we stated already, just to do with funds. That just because something's pre-approved doesn't mean you're guaranteed the funds. It just means that your plan meets the criteria to apply for the rebate.
Derek, who is a non-complying participant?
I've seen that on numerous other. To me, it's on there for maybe vendors that are not cooperating with the forms, giving false information. Well, I haven't had any of those yet, but I think that's why other utilities maybe had included that.
Is this just for vendors? This is not for homeowners? Or what is this?
Some of these are, they're generic. They could be on all the forms, other than the lighting. The lighting with the fixtures would be for the commercial and industrial. They're the only ones that would be using what you have in your hands now.
So if I was going to do this, would I just give this to,
I'd like to have
as
that.
an example, like Paul's Electric, and say, here, this is what we're doing with the house? Is he
I'd
going
like-
to be
I'd like-
responsible?
I'd like that to be included with the application, so the vendors all get that, and they go by that as what the information they put on the form.
Right, but.
Because I get a lot of different variations of T8 fixtures that are blah blah blah,
Right, but I'm saying,
and I also have no proof of that.
right. but
Usually
would
old
they
fixtures are
be
done.
The ones filling it out for.
On the form
customer?
now, there's a spot for the vendor that says verified by.
Okay,
The customer themselves need to sign the application.
all right.
And they're just ideas. I mean, if anybody wants more information on them, we can always table this or look into it more.
So the lighting data worksheet is essentially trying to kind of standardize what you're
Exactly.
getting
Yep.
in there. Mm-hmm.
And we actually have one, I believe, MMUA put one out some years back that I have a book on. I'm not sure if it was, used within the last 5 years or not. I think that's what it genuinely was meant for.
I don't know if this would be the place or the time, but if you're doing revisions, is there any need to check into the rebates as far as prices? Has anything changed on anything? I don't know the last time that. Are you comfortable with where those are at?
I haven't compared too much. Some of them are more generous in other places, and some may not be.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I was trying to look to see if maybe there was even a firm that specialized in that, but I don't know if there is. If they are, they're hard to find.
Okay.
Derek, are all the lighting done as a custom project? What's put in, or what's taken out and put in, and the wattages? You figure the wattage by the hours that they're used?
No, it's with
It's prescriptive?
I haven't had a custom. Last year, I didn't have any custom rebates whatsoever, and then the year I began, there might have been one that was done before I was hired.
Okay, so all
So-
your lighting rebates are like a prescriptive. If you take out this and you put in this,
Correct.
you get $10 or whatever.
It's nameplate wattage of the old lighting with minus the new lighting multiplied by 30 cents, and that's what the rebate is.
But do they have to prove the savings? If you're changing the lights, do you have to prove how much you're gonna be saving?
No.
Before the rebate,
No.
Okay.
Lighting is pretty easy as far as prescriptive like that, because if you're taking out a light bulb that's 100 watts and you're putting in a 25-watt light bulb, you're pretty much guaranteed that your savings are there, you
Yeah.
know.
Well,
As far as...
I'm going back to Swanson's time when he wanted to have everybody prove everything, how much
Sure.
that they were saving before they would ever do anything. That's why I was asking.
Yeah,
And that's justified. It's
right.
there's ways that I'm busy one day and I don't get to one. There's somebody that not purposely miscued numbers, and
I was just
there's
asking,
I think that's where that one, they have the building hours comes into play. That's kind of where some places use the type of building you have. They use that as an equation of what the rebate is. There's different ways that it can be done. I don't know what's the best.
Well, I think these are all good ideas. Do we feel like we want more information, or we want to table this and come back, or are we good with taking some action on these tonight?
What, Derek, you said you just found this
Some of this wording was from some was from the Shakopee Public Utilities, some was from Colorado Springs in Colorado.
But is it what you think you'd want, or are you going to want to add that we should table it?
Should we look in this overview, is this what is there and what's added, or is this just what you want to add? So we don't know what's there. Do we have a copy of an application? These are all new ads to,
These would all be new. These are not currently in our,
In addition to
what we have there
in
already?
addition to,
what we have there now?
right. The only thing that would maybe be replaced would be the wording for qualifying purchases do not guarantee approval of a rebate. There is similar wording, but I'm not sure if all the applications have qualifying purchases do not guarantee approval.
I don't think, from the ones I was looking at, I don't think they all do at this time, but I could be wrong.
And they're just ideas. The rebates haven't been changed in quite a while, other than the few wordings that we've done the last year and a half.
I guess I'm okay with them if, as long as they're not duplicating what's might already be on the
And I can,
application.
if we want to
Yeah.
table it, I could make a mock application up with the wording in.
Do we meet next month?
No.
We don't, so we wouldn't meet until September and,
No,
or,
July.
Meet July.
oh, July.
Yeah.
And is that too long? I mean, will they start the web?
I don't think it's
web
gonna, we
stuff?
haven't had a meeting with the vendor yet.
Oh, okay.
So no,
So we could probably look
Yeah.
at them in July and
yeah.
just kind of
And I think that's fine, that's good. They
Yeah.
should, I think there's plenty of time.
maybe look at the whole application and just
Right.
kind of,
Mhm.
And with some of this wording, and if they get altered quite a bit,
Sure.
there obviously needs to be publicized, especially with some of the vendors. Give them notification that the forms have been changed, not that they're using old forms and I have to come
Right.
back and say, sorry.
Yes.
it's always a challenge when
Yeah.
forms change.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion to table it until July to review the application with the changes.
Yeah. We have a motion to table the changes until July. Does a second?
I'll second that.
I have a motion and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5 on the agenda is commissioner comments. Does anybody have any comments? I'll just put 2 things out there, just to make sure everybody's on the same page. Derek sent out, I think it was yesterday or today, sent out the updated Energy Awareness Commission listing in the handbook. One thing I did notice on the Energy Awareness Commission listing was on the very bottom. It says the Energy Awareness Commission does not meet during the months of June through August, and I believe that is incorrect as of our
It is
new meeting
incorrect.
schedule.
It is
So,
incorrect.
because
That's why I thought. We
Yeah.
don't meet in don't meet in the summer.
That was your question's justified, yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, just note then that the next meeting would be Tuesday, July 9th at 5 PM here. So, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second it.
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, everybody.
July 9th.
July 9th.